Discarded, healing, survivor, a narcissist is left behind is a bit like a phantom limb. Hear me out. Question: if the narcissist does see their supply as being part of them, as it were, how can they fear abandonment? Okay, let's see if we can bring some clarity to this. Now, it's not really as if the narcissist sees a person as being a part of their body or their brain. I'm assuming that's what you mean. You must have watched a video where I've talked about this before. So let's talk about it briefly again. There are massive regions of the brain of someone who's a pathological narcissist that govern the sense of self that don't work. As I say all the time, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it again, they are stuck in the paranoid schizoid position of Melanie Klein's theory of object relations. And so their psyche, their emotional world, is divided into all good or all bad, with nothing in between. Part of a person knowing who they are which is a huge part, is how you feel about certain things, how you consistently respond to certain things going on in the world, or ideas, or poetry, or music. If your response to someone's opinion on something, or some kind of life event, or some kind of news event happening is always amazing, or just like, oh my god, it's terrible, well, you're going to be kind of boring. You're going to be someone who's very superficial, who doesn't really have any authentic opinions about anything, really. They would probably have to fake their opinion on something, or imitate the opinion of others, or something, to appear like they have some kind of nuanced understanding of the world in an emotional sense. A narcissist is always trying to idealise themselves or have other people idealise them too, so that they can stay away from their bad objects. And it's, I imagine it's quite a lot of effort actually, because you've got to have like events planned all the time, other supplies in the wings. Yeah, what a mess. Without the ability to truly integrate the bad things that happen in life and the bad emotional responses that people have, a narcissist is going to be very, very bland inside. And so they're not going to really know who they are. How can you really, truly know who you are if you don't understand how you feel and relate to other people authentically? Anyway, that's sense of self stuff. So the point is, they need someone to help them regulate their sense of self by giving them dopamine hits and things like this to keep them in this all good state, the idealization of things. The parts of their brain that should be able to keep them regulated, their sense of self, they don't work. So they have to make concerted efforts to actually stay away from the bad. Okay, so that's why they sort of need us. We fill in the roles of parts of their brain that's supposed to keep them not all the way to all good, but somewhere in the middle, with a degree of subtlety. And they can't do that. They need us to worship them. So yes, in that sense, we become something that they need to regulate. But we are an external thing, okay? In their heads, we're just sort of serving them, and they don't really see us as an autonomous being of our own self, really. There's going to be so much that's misunderstood. Actually thinking that they see someone as an arm or a nose or a brain or whatever it is. No, it's not like that at all. It's the utility that we provide. So during the relationship, that is the role that we perform. A part of their brain that's missing, right? Anyway, or parts. But anyway, when they've discarded us, they've devalued us and made themselves feel like they don't need us, they don't want us, they want to separate from us so that they can individuate and become their own person and all that stuff. And they feel like they've achieved it. But the problem is that during the relationship, as they started to devalue us, that started to regulate their sense of self as well, by elevating themselves above us to make themselves feel powerful. Well, now we're gone. Because for most of the relationship, putting us down regulated their sense of self. Now, the thing is that we're gone, yes, we're out of sight, but we're not out of mind. So now something pretty awful to them sort of starts to dawn on them. What if they get better? What if we get better? What if the victim gets better? What if all the damage they did is somehow undone? Well, that thought, that dysregulates them. That's why they'll be checking in on your social media, or perhaps trying to find other ways to hoover, for example. The feeling that they have successfully individuated is now dependent on your continued suffering. Now, you know what a phantom limb is, eh? So someone loses a limb, and they can still feel it. It's almost like it's still there. That's because the brain hasn't caught up. The somatic map is still present. A phantom limb can feel like a hand that's no longer present, clenching up. It can be painful. There can be tingles or pins and needles. But the point is, it niggles at the person. And when you're healing, and they can see that's happening, that niggles at them too. The narcissist is concerned that you're going to rise and get well and do what they can't do, which is to heal. That's why so many survivors choose to heal out loud. So, this is because you don't want to give them attention, but you do want to give them a show. Because they're watching anyway. All right, darling. Just realised I didn't address the abandonment thing. Well, if they're not done with you and you leave, then that will trigger abandonment issues because they need that supply, that main supply, and they haven't got any kind of plan in place yet. Anyway, that's the simple answer to that part. Hope this helps. Bye for now.